Hey, shalom, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. This is also Josiah, and this is the IUIC Raleigh in the classroom. So today's class is going to be entitled Lucifer Explained. Lucifer Explained. Because in a lot of, you got a lot of Christian commentators and a lot of Christian scholars that have come up with different studies or different descriptions of what Lucifer is or who he was. And the common misconception that a lot of these Christians have is that he was an angel that was cast out of heaven and down to the earth by Michael and the archangel and all that stuff. So today we're going to go through the Bible, we're going to go through the scriptures and show you and explain to you exactly who Lucifer is and how the Bible describes him and all of that. So that's where we're going to start. So first and foremost, let's open up with the book of Hosea chapter 12, verse 10. Hosea chapter 12, verse 10.
The book of Hosea, chapter 12 and verse 10.
Let's go.
I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets.
So we start off here in the book of Hosea, and it says, I have spoken by the prophets. I have multiplied visions. So Lucifer, he was in a vision of the prophet Isaiah, which we're going to read shortly. That's where you first encounter that word Lucifer. That's the only time Lucifer is used in the Bible. It says, and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophet. Another word for similitude is a metaphor or an allegory or illustrated story. Those are how the prophets describe the Bible. Use similitudes. So now, let's get right into it. I have one video that I wanted to discuss or wanted to watch. So let's cue up that first video. It's about 3 minutes long. We might not watch the whole thing. I don't want to get a strike. Hopefully we don't get one. So let's see. We got the disclaimer up. Let's watch this video. Let's see what the Christians have to say about Lucifer. See you in history, angels and demons.
In the world's dawn, God created the heavens and the earth on the second day. And on the very same day, God created the angels, archangels, and cherubim. And these heavenly creatures would inhabit the heavens. The renowned Gabriel and Michael were among these magnificent beings.
So obviously right here we see some iconoclasm right here. These images were all whitewashed in the Renaissance period. These images that you see right here. Because we can go in the books, we got the Russian icons, all these different books where you're going to see churches over there in Romania, over there in Russia, with black images of angels, black images of David, of God, of the prophets. And then they, some of them, they touched and whitewashed. So this is an example of the iconoclasm that went on.
Right.
Read, keep playing.
Was yet another entity who stood out due to his beauty and splendor, known as Lucifer. He was the most important creature God had ever created. But although he had so many qualities, or perhaps due to that, Lucifer was taken by pride. This is the vice that leads to arrogance, vanity, and endless haughtiness. Pride was one of the 7 deadly sins. The proud Lucifer considered himself to be so perfect that he decided to create his own throne, placed even above God, since he wished to be like God. To accomplish his plan, the evil angel deceived the other angels around him. Therefore, the father of falsehood had by his side a third of the angelic beings who inhabited the heavens. Together, they would unleash a battle for heaven. But Lucifer encountered an outstanding opponent, Archangel Michael, who commanded the heavenly militia of God-loving angels. To defeat the Lord's angels, Lucifer turned himself into a mighty dragon and dueled against Michael, who wielded a flaming sword. Notwithstanding all his might, the dragon did not defeat Michael, since the latter had God by his side. Lucifer and his evil angels were banished from heaven. These angels fell on the earth and were trapped in hell. But Lucifer endured even greater punishment. He, once the most beautiful angel, was transformed into the heinous Satan. Lucifer and his fallen angels started to live in hell.
That's enough.
But
That's enough of that. So this is the Christian idea, or this is what they've come up with when they read the scriptures. All of this is a bunch of garbage. This is a hot, steaming pile of trash. And we about to go into the Bible and show you all and break down all these lies and bring out the truth of what the scripture is actually talking about. So they touched on a few things. They mentioned the flaming sword. They said Michael had the flaming sword. They said Lucifer turned into a red dragon. So the flaming sword is referenced in the book of Genesis, chapter 3. We're going to touch on that later. The red dragon is Revelation chapter 12. We're going to go there as well. And then Lucifer himself, that's in Isaiah chapter 14. So these are the chapters that we're going to go. When it says he was beautiful as well, they're making a reference to Ezekiel chapter 28. So these are all the chapters and scriptures that we're going to be touching in today's lesson. Right. Lord, so time permits. So let's see. Where do I want to begin? Now what I want to do, there was an article that I have in Bible Study Tools. I want to go to that article as well. Because you might think that it's just white people that come up with these things, or it's just white people that are making all these videos and making all these documentations. But Esau has deceived some of our own people. And here we have, that's the one I wanted, that one you just dragged across. Yeah, that's the article that I want. The one where it said Michael Jakes. So this man here, Michael Jakes, is a black man. It says he's a pastor and a writer. He wrote this blog post. And his blog post, it says, "Why is Satan known as the morning star?" So let's read this a little bit.
I will never forget a conversation that I had with a friend of mine when I was just a boy. It was what happened after our conversation that still lingers in my mind. We were both about 12 years old, and our conversation was on biblical matters. He was growing up in a religious family, and I was not. I can still recall that it was a very windy day, and we were sitting in the courtyard of a particular church that was in our neighborhood. He was telling me about heaven and hell, and more specifically about angels and demons. At the time, I thought that the things that he was telling me were the most absurd things that I have ever heard. Come on. There's no such thing as angels, and especially no such thing as demons.
So now this is what a lot of these videos and a lot of these documents and blog posts create. It causes people to be unbelievers. It causes people to be atheists, make them not believe in the Bible, because they romanticize the Bible and they try to make it mythical by adding all of these elements when the Bible is a history book. A lot of the men that you read about in this Bible walked the earth in the flesh. You got Pontius Pilate, that was an actual man that walked the earth. You got the Egyptian pharaohs. You got the Babylonian kings like Nebuchadnezzar. You got the Assyrian kings like Tiglath-Pileser and all of them. Salmanassar, king of Assyria. All these men you can read about in history books. But then when they go into topics like this, it confuses people and deters them away from the Bible. That's the idea, or that's the ultimate end goal of the deceiver, of the white man. You don't want people to believe the Bible. And then if people do believe the Bible, he wants to show his images in there. So now, Let's scroll up a little bit more. Let's see what else we got in here. Let's see. Keep on going. Isaiah. So light bearer. That's what the name Lucifer means. Light bearer. Keep on going. So that's another verse we're going to read. Luke 10, verse 18. Ezekiel 28 and 12. You see he's got reference points. These are the ones where, these are the reference points that they use to try to say, oh, this is why they say Lucifer was beautiful. Because Ezekiel 28 and 12 describes, it says he was perfect in your ways. We're going to read a lot of these scriptures. Perfect in wisdom, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Just keep on going down. And then this is the one where they said the third of the stars. That's why they said in that video, they said Lucifer persuaded a third of the heavenly angels to go with him in his rebellion, which is a bunch of lies. We're going to explain what it meant when it said his tail drew the third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. We're going to explain that because that's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. We're going to go into it. So that's Revelation 12. So these are some of the chapters and the verses that we're going to touch. So this is Michael Jakes trying to explain what the white man explained to him about the fallen angel Lucifer and all that garbage. So keep on going. So now this is him right here, Michael Jakes, a black man. So you got black people deceived by the white man into believing that Lucifer was an angel that fought up there in the heavens and got cast down and got beat by Michael and the archangels and then went down into the underworld.
The hell is this?
All that is garbage. That's Greek, but they mix Greek mythology with the Bible.
Bruh.
That's what they did. So now let's go into the Bible now. Let's go into the scriptures. And let's break this down. So we started with Hosea 12, verse 10. That's showing you the similitudes. So now we're going to get into some of these similitudes and some of these mysteries of the scriptures. So let's go. Let's start with the book of Isaiah, chapter 14.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14.
Let's read verse 12.
And verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which doth weaken the nations?
So it said Lucifer was cut down to the ground and fell from heaven, and he weakened the nations. It didn't say he weakened the heavenly realm where the Most High was.
Right.
It's saying that this man was on earth weakening the nations of the planet Earth. For you simple Christians out there. But the problem is Christians like to isolate chapters. They get on us, so they try to come at us and say we take things out of context. They will read one verse like this, Isaiah 14 and 12, and then they make a whole doctrine about that one verse.
Who raised you?
Took the whole chapter out of context. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it back in context, and we're going to read from 1 all the way to the end.
That's right.
Let's get it in. Let's go. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1.
Dang, that reminds me. I forgot to send y'all some images. But go ahead, read that.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them, and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
So it said that Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. So let's show you, I got my little images of the nations in chains. I just sent that one, so it might take a little while for that to load. So let's read that. Where we at? Where you start? Where you?
Verse 2.
That was verse 2. Okay. So read verse 1 again.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
So it said the Lord is going to have mercy on Jacob. Jacob, that was the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And then he had the sons, and all his 12 sons made up the nation of Israel, those 12 tribes. So read on.
And set them in their own land.
And they are going to be set in their own land, because what happened is the children of Israel have been taken out of their land. And we have been out of our land for centuries
What the hell?
in captivity. Come on.
And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Because the same thing happened in the time of the Passover. A mixed multitude of the other nations came out with us and crossed the Red Sea. And said that's the same thing that's going to happen in that time when the Lord redeems us and brings us back into our land. Come on.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
So it says that Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. So we're going to have we're going to have slaves. We're going to make the other nations slaves. Read.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. This is what Isaiah is talking about. This is the redemption of the Israelites.
That's right.
And justice being served for the atrocities that were committed unto the Israelites. So you see that's the images, that's the nations. Look at that, make my teeth white. That's future judgment and future prophecy. Come on.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
And they shall rule over their oppressors. There was no oppression going on in the third heaven with the Most High. That place is peaceful. There's no war in the heavens. Come on.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
The Lord shall give rest to the Israelites, to Jacob and Israel from their sorrow. Come on.
And from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
So that's what's going to happen. There's going to be rest from the hard bondage that we are made to serve here on earth, in America, in Egypt, in Mauritania, in India, in all of the places that we have been scattered on the earth. We serve a hard bondage. And it said we're going to be free from that hard bondage. Come on.
And thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased.
So it said, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. So now this is the start. This is the context of Lucifer. The king of Babylon is also making reference to Lucifer. As we read down, it's the same entity. So now who is this king of Babylon? Who is the golden city? Let's go to the book of Revelations, chapter 18, verse 9. Who is the king of Babylon? Was it Nebuchadnezzar that this is talking about? No. This is not making reference to Nebuchadnezzar. Although he was the king of ancient Babylon, this is a different Babylon. Read.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 12. The merchandise of gold.
Let's start at verse 10.
Verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying.
Verse 9.
Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, For in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
So that's that golden city that was making reference to in Isaiah 14. That's the golden city. It said, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. That's that golden city. That's the king of Babylon. The oppressor ceased. The mighty city. From there, give me Psalm 137. Verse 7.
The book of Psalms, chapter 137 and verse 7.
Let's go.
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof.
Because the Edomites, when Babylon destroyed Jerusalem back then, they were cheering on our destruction. They said, race it to the foundation, destroy it to the foundation thereof. That was Edom, the so-called white man. That's who Edom is. And we're going to go into that. Read.
O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us.
It says, O daughter of Babylon. That's who Edom is, the daughter of Babylon. So Edom is also referred to as Babylon. So you can understand. Let's go back now to Isaiah 14. Let's read verse 5.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 5.
Let's go.
The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindereth.
So the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, is talking about the future judgment of Edom.
All praise.
That's what this chapter is about. The future judgment of Edom and the earth being put at rest once he goes down. It said, the staff of the wicked is broken. Who is the wicked? That's Edom as well. That's Malachi 1 and 4. We ain't gonna get that right now due to the time. It says, smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, ruled the nations in anger. We see that in the news today. Look at what's going on in Gaza. Look at what's going on in Ukraine. It's bombs everywhere. People is getting blown up to bits and pieces. To smithereens, shout out to Officer Michelle. People's getting blown up. Little babies getting blown up. Everybody's getting blown up for no reason. They talk about his Hamas. But these people is civilians in this conflict. Read on. Verse 7.
Verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
So that's what's going to happen. When this man goes down, it said the earth will be quiet and at rest.
That's right.
Come on.
Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon sing. Since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us.
Because what they do every Christmas season, they cut down all of the fir trees, all of the evergreen trees, and put them in people's houses and say, Merry Christmas, and decorate them with silver and gold. That's all a bunch of damn garbage. But that's what they do. The trees are going to rejoice because they ain't going to be getting cut down like that no more. Come on.
Hell from beneath is moved for thee, to meet thee at thy coming. It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
So let's see that. So now it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. So a lot of these Christian commentators and scholars use this verse to say, oh, he fell, and that's how the underground, that's how Hades was created. No. Now you're going back into Greek mythology. That has nothing to do with that. Let's show you what hell is referring to. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 13.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge. And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself.
So it says, therefore my people are gone into captivity. Therefore, hell have enlarged herself. So the hell that it's referring to is captivity, a state of being. We, the Israelites, are in hell right now. We got to wake up every in the morning to go to work. We got a last hired, first fired. We got the poor education, the poor health care, and all of that. That's us. We are in a state of hell. And what God is saying here in Isaiah 14 is that when the judgment turns around, y'all are going to be in hell. That's why when it said that in verse 2, it said, they shall rule over their oppressors. Y'all are going to be the ones in chains. Y'all are going to be the ones in shackles, in captivity, working hard bondage. That's going to be you. That's what the Bible is talking about here. And it said, even the chief ones of the earth, they're going to see it. The nations are going to see you go down. They're going to meet you down there in captivity with you. That's what it's saying. The Arabs going to be down there in chains with you, looking at you like, damn, you in there with us. The Moabites, they're going to be there too. All of them is going to be there in captivity in chains. Let's keep reading. Verse 10.
Verse 10. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 10.
Yeah, my bad. Go back to 14.
All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?
That's why it says that hell is going to meet thee at that coming. Because the other nations are going to be there. They're going to be like, damn, you down here in chains with us now? We thought y'all was the baddest of the bad. We thought it was God bless America. But nah, yo, weak as us now. Come on.
Thy pomp is brought down to the grave.
It said thy pride. That's what the pomp means. The pride is brought down to the grave. Come on.
And the noise of thy vows.
And the noise of thy vows. The vows is talking about the songs. There ain't going to be no more Star Spangled Banner. There ain't going to be no more, which they took the third stanza out of it because it talks about the slaves and how they did us dirty. There ain't going to be no more Pledge of Allegiance. All that is going to be gone. Finished. Come on.
The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
The worm is spread under thee. That's talking about nuclear destruction, nuclear missiles, and the radiation that comes thereafter when they blow up. That's what that's talking about. Come on.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, the son of the morning? So
now we've got the context. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven? So if hell is captivity, then that means that heaven must also be a state of being. Let's show you that. Give me the book of Lamentation, chapter 2, verse 1. You see, because this is what the Bible is actually saying. Y'all Christians do not know the Bible. And that's why y'all come up with all these lies. Let's read that.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 2 and verse 1. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and has cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger.
Read on.
The Lord has swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, and hath not pity. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah.
So that's what it's talking about when it says heaven. It's saying this is when God was judging us, Israel, Zion, in his anger. He said he cast down the habitations of Jacob, cast us down the strongholds in his fierce anger. That's what he did unto us because we broke his commandments. So the same thing that happened unto us, that same cup that we had to drink, that same cup is going into the hands of Edom. That's what we read in Isaiah 14. So the same way we got cast down from heaven unto hell, unto earth, into captivity, That's the same thing that's going to happen to Edom. Edom is going to get cast down from their state of heaven, their state of rulership, into captivity.
That's right.
So now I said Lucifer, son of the morning, which means light bearer. Read on in Isaiah 14.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 13.
Yeah.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend unto heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
So it says, I will ascend into heaven. I will ascend into heaven. Why would, if this is talking about an angel, if this is talking about the spiritual demon Satan, Satan can go to and fro freely from heaven and earth.
Right.
So this ain't talking about him. But if it said, I will ascend into heaven, what is that talking about? That's talking about space travel.
Right.
That's what that's going into. In 1969, that's when they went up and flew into the moon. That's when, let's talk about the space land of 1969. That's when that happened. That's when they ascended into heaven. Hold that. Let's get that in Obadiah. Let's go to the book of Obadiah, verse 4. Obadiah, verse 4.
The book of Obadiah,
Yeah,
verse 4.
I saw that picture that you had there. You could put that picture up about the moon. I think I saw it down there. Yeah, one of those. Yeah. Oh, I saw the mouse go that way. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's good right there. You got it, Obadiah?
The book of Obadiah, verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Right, so there you go. That's, was it the Apollo 13, the lunar landing, all of that. That's when they went up to space. And it says, from thence will he bring them down, saith the Lord. They exalt themselves as the eagle. So Edom is the one who exalts himself as the eagle. That's America's symbol, the bald eagle. That was Greece symbol, the eagle. That was Spain's symbol, the eagle. All of them use the eagle. They know, the Bible knows who it's describing. That's who it is. There's no other nation that uses the eagle. It's them. So let's go back. It says, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. So that's what it's talking about, space travel. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Meaning that he was going to conquer all 12 tribes. That's what that's talking about. The mount of the congregation. He was going to conquer. Esau was going to conquer Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and Ephraim, all the way down to Naphtali, the 10 tribes, which he did. He conquered the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, and then he brought all the rest of us over there on slave ships in captivity.
Damn.
And we all serve in captivity here on this same landmass, North America. That's what it's talking about, the sides of the north. The sides of the north is talking about North America.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
So it said, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. That's talking about airplanes. Why would angels can fly naturally?
Right.
They got wings already. It said, I will ascend into the heights of the clouds. This is talking about a man doing these things. That's what it's letting you know. We're going to read it. It's a man doing these things. This is not an angel that fell down from heaven, so you can understand, Christians. This was a man, a people that did this. The Wright brothers in 1903, they were the ones who created the first airplane.
The devil!
That was them. That's when this prophecy here that we're reading was fulfilled.
Right.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Give me the, well, we don't have the images, but you got the Sistine Chapel, the image there, and the Last Supper. Those are images they painted. Or even the image of the beast, the prisoner himself, Caesar Borgia. That's what it says, I will be like the Most High. Yeah, that's a good one right there. Look at that right there. That's that's what it's talking about in Isaiah, where it says, I will be like the Most High. They painted the white man, Caesar Borgia, in the image of Christ. Leonardo da Vinci did in the Renaissance period. Those are that's the images there of the iconoclast and all the paint that destroying the image. You see the black image of Christ in the background, the black image of Saint Nicholas, I think that is over there, and they're painting it white. That's what they did. That's why it says they will be like the Most High. They painted over our images and destroyed our images.
Right.
Come on.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the side of the pit.
So although they are trying to be like the Most High, although they are trying to ascend or have ascended into the heights of the clouds, it says, yet shalt thou be brought down to hell. So that's the future judgment of them. They will go down into captivity. That's what's going to happen to them. Read on.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that
Is this the who?
Is this the man?
Is this the who?
Is this the man?
Is this the man? The man. The man. So it's not an angel. Lucifer was a man. The white man. So you can understand the devil that the Bible speaks of. Read.
Is this the man that made the earth to tremble? That did shake kingdoms.
That did shake kingdoms. That's who did it. That's who did it. It was the man. The white man who's bombing countries. So that's the image right there. That's a television series that they make mockery of these things. But the good part about it, or the one thing that they got right in this series, was they put the right actor. They didn't make no black man play that role. It's a good thing they did that. They got the actor right. It was a white man. And then there was another, the other one that I sent with the white shirt, with the white suit. That was from a movie called Constantine with, what's his name? Keanu Reeves, who played John Wick. So that was Lucifer in that movie. So that's one thing that they got right about these things. They picked the right actor to play that character. Because, yes, it was the white man. It's the white man who is Lucifer. So that's one thing they got right. So let's read.
Verse 17. That made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners.
It didn't open the house of the prisoners. All of us is still, a lot of us is still in prison. A lot of black men, Latino men, Native American men are in jail houses right now for petty crimes that the white man gets away with a slap on the wrist. But that's what they do to us. They hide us in prison houses. So from there, let's get more into it. So that's one, we're going to come back to here. That's one chapter that goes into Lucifer. So now why does it mention about him being beautiful? Let's go to that one. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 28. Why they make a reference of that? Ezekiel 28, let's read verse 12.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 28 and verse 12.
Doc, it's a precept.
Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus.
Let's start at verse 1 first, and then we'll jump back to there.
Verse 1. The word of the Lord came again to me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am God. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man, and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God.
So it says, yet thou art a man, and not God. Not a fallen angel. A man.
Right.
A man. So that's what it's talking about the whole time. It's talking about the white man. He's trying to set himself as God. That's why he painted the images that we made of the angels of God and all that. Iconoclast the images. And it said He sits in a seat of the God in the midst of the seas. Hold that. Give me Revelation 17:15 about the midst of the seas. The midst of the seas.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 15.
Let's go.
And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Because America has embassies and military bases in all nations of the earth. Hundreds and thousands of military bases all over the world. Trying to be in every, there you go, that's the images right there. It says the U.S. controls about 850 bases in more than 90 countries worldwide.
Bruh.
That's why it says he sits in the many waters, trying to be God, trying to be everywhere. But what they fail to understand is that they spread out too thin.
Hey.
They can't control everything. That's why Russia's still at war with Ukraine. No matter how much sanctions, no matter how much embargoes America puts on Russia, they still warring over there. They ain't stopped nothing. Come on. Let's go back to Ezekiel. In the midst of the seas.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 28 and verse 2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man, and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God.
Read on.
Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee.
Thou art wiser than Daniel. So Daniel, he understood the beginning, the middle, and the end of times. He understood world history. He got visions of world history in Daniel chapter 2 with the vision of the statue. In Daniel chapter 7, he got the vision of all that stuff. So, well, it said that he is wiser than Daniel. Because look at the things that they have created. Satellite technology, the cell phone, cars. You can instant message somebody from here all the way to the other side of the world. These are the kind of technology that they got. Satellite technology where you can zoom in from space down to somebody on the ground.
Damn.
That's what they got. There's no secret they can hide from thee. Come on.
With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver unto thy treasures.
Thou hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. Come on.
By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches.
The heart of America is lifted up because of how rich they are. They're prideful. And that pride is going to be their downfall. The nation, the merchants of the earth, like we was reading in Revelation 18, it says they have committed fornication. They live deliciously with America because of all the trade that they do, the trade that China does, the trade that Europe does with America. But all of that is going to come to an end very soon. So now from there,
All praises.
all praises. Let's go to verse 12.
Verse 12.
So from Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 1 through 10, is talking about the United Nations, or EU, and Babylon, the European Union and Babylon. Now from verse 11 downward, is referring to Cain, which is still a representative of Esau. Come on.
The devil.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 28 and verse 12. Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say unto him, thus saith the Lord God, thou stealest up the sum, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty.
So this is one of the scriptures why they refer to Lucifer, or they're trying to use this to compare Lucifer and say that he was the most beautiful angel. But what all it's saying here is the Most High, that's how the Most High created him. Perfect, full of wisdom and beauty. It says he was wiser than Daniel. He gave Esau a lot of wisdom in his creation. Come on.
Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou was created. Mm-hmm. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou was upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
Because that was the flaming sword in Genesis chapter 3. The flaming sword that it references, let's go to Genesis chapter 3. That's what it's talking about. Which keeps the way of the tree of life. Watch this. Genesis chapter 3, verse 24.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 24.
Let's go.
So he drove out the man, and he was placed at the east of the garden of Edom, cherubims, and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
So that's who keeps the way of the tree of life. So the flaming sword. What color is a flaming sword? Red. So it's the red because it keeps the way of the tree of life. That's the reason why his goal is to keep us in sin in this present day in order to keep us away from the tree of life. The same is his mission is the same as it was back then. Read on. Go back to Ezekiel 28:15.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 28 and verse 15. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created, till iniquity was found in thee. By the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore, I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire.
So Cain, he killed his brother Abel and committed all that violence against his brother Abel, committed all that sin, and it said that unto thee Satan shall be thy desire, and he shall rule over thee. That was when he was given unto Satan. And then Satan gave him all of the power and technology that he has today in order to go into space. Because you don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to make an atomic bomb that blows up hundreds of thousands of people. I'm just going to wake up one day and make a suit that can fly into space and a spaceship that can fly and float in space and understand all of that, the elements of how those things work up there.
Hey.
You got to have some kind of demonic presence dealing with you, which a lot of them did have. That's how they did those things. Read on.
Verse 17. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee.
Because, and also when it said the king of Tyrus and the prince of Tyrus, Tyrus is referring to Tyre. And Tyre was a city over there in Lebanon. That's modern day Lebanon. That's that map that I have there. The second or the image right there. Yeah, that map right there. Let's put that map up real quick just to show you that. So that's where Tyre was. That's Tyrus, directly above Israel. So you got the Israelis. They want to conquer and take Lebanon over. That's what they want. They want Lebanon. They want Gaza. They want over there the other side of the Red Sea. These are the places that they're going to try to overthrow and to take. They're trying to establish the vision as the people of God. So these are all of the places that they're going to try and take over. It's a lot of conquering that they're going to try to do. But what they don't realize is that they're completely surrounded by all the Arab nations. So show me the next flag or the next map that I have there with the green. That map with the green is like all the green nations. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Look at that. So that's what Israel looks like in comparison to all of the Arab nations. You got Sudan, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Yemen, Oman, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Iraq, Syria, Jordan, all that surrounded them. And all of them is eventually in prophecy going to come together against them. And that's going to start that World War III. That's going to start that Valley of Jehoshaphat. Because all them nations coming together against that little landmass, they're going to wipe them off the planet. That's what they don't realize. So from there, let's go to Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12. Because this is another scripture that they use to try to say that it was a war up there and the spiritual demon Satan was cast down. So let's go right there, Revelation 12. But let's actually start let's start at verse 1. Because we read the part earlier where it said that his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. They tried to say that Lucifer turned into a red dragon in order to fight against Michael and the archangels. But all of this, what they failed to understand is that's why we started off this lesson with Hosea 12 and 10. Because the Bible is written in a metaphor. It's written in similitudes. John the Revelator used that red dragon to describe as a similitude. That's why he put it in there. And we're going to go into it to show you that's talking about Esau and Edom as well.
You're going to learn today.
We're going to show you. Come on. Revelation 12, verse 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Crown of 12 stars represents the 12 tribes of Israel. The woman also represents the 12 tribes of Israel. Because in Jeremiah 6 and 2, it says, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. So that's what it's talking about there. 12 stars, 12 tribes of Israel. Read on.
And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
So who is that she? That she is talking about Mary, the mother of Christ, the wife of Joseph. She was having a baby that she had with Joseph, not immaculate. So you can understand. Pain to be delivered. Read on, verse 3 again.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So now it says there appeared another wonder in heaven, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So let's see what the image of the red dragon is. Let's see that image there. Look at that right there. So these are the representative of the 7 heads. Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, and Great Britain represent the 7 heads of the great red dragon. All of these are European Edomite nations.
The devil.
The 8th head is of the 7, that's America, which is made mention of in Revelation 17. And that 8th head, it says, goes into perdition, which is talking about destruction. Those are the 10 horns, which is talking about the 10 common markets, or NATO, or the European Union. All names of the 10 horns. Come on.
And 7 crowns upon his head.
So now from there, give me the reason why it mentions the color of the dragon is because it's a similitude. It's going precept into another scripture. That's why I mentioned the flaming sword. The flaming sword is red. The red dragon is red. And now we're going to show you who in the Bible was red. Genesis 25:25. You know, yeah, get that. And then we're going to get Job also 30:29.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 25.
Let's go.
And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
Yeah. That's the picture right there. Get that picture and put that up. So it says the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau, which means wasted away is he, because he had no melanin in his skin.
That's
He was wasted. That's why they call him that. Read on.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
And his name was called Jacob. But it didn't mention his color at all, because he looked just like everybody else. Looked like his mother, looked like his father, looked like his grandfather, his grandmother, and all their ancestors and descendants before them.
Right.
It was Esau that looked different from everybody else. That's why they documented it and called his name Esau. So that's why, and that's the reason why they mention red dragon, flaming sword, red sword. All of that is letting you know who is talking about. That's the similitude of the Bible. So he did not turn, it wasn't an angel that turned into a dragon. The reason why it's talking about a dragon there, a red dragon, is because it's giving you a similitude as to who it was describing. Now give me Job 30:29.
The book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 29. I am a brother to dragons and a companion to owls.
I am a brother to dragons, because Esau was Jacob's brother. That's why he said that. I am a brother to dragons. So now from there, let's go back to Revelation 12. Read verse 4. Revelation chapter 12, verse 4.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
So now they said that the angel, when it said it drew the third parts of the stars of heaven, they said that was talking about the angelic host. He got 1/3 of the angelic angels to follow him in his rebellion. That's not what it's talking about.
Right.
So you can be deceived. So you can understand. That's talking about the third part of the stars of heaven. Is talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and cast them to the earth, meaning cast them into captivity. Because during the time of Rome, that's what this is making reference of. Because who was trying to devour Christ? Herod in the history. Herod was there. That's who was trying to kill Christ.
The devil.
Let's read that. Go to Matthew 2:13. Made a whole movie about this joint. Matthew 2:13. Joseph's dream.
The book of Matthew, chapter 2 and verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother, and flee unto Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him.
So Herod is that red dragon. Herod was an Edomite of the nation of Amalek. The devil. That's who Herod was. So you can understand. That's who the dragon was. That's who the red dragon was. Herod, and not just Herod alone. The rest of them, Agrippa, the Herodians, and Rome itself. Edom, Esau, Edom. That's who the dragon is. Not the spiritual demon Satan, not the fallen angel, not some angel that was fighting up in the heavens. All that is lies. It's talking about the white man. So you can understand. Now, from there, let's read down. Let's go to verse 7.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
So now this is the part where people get confused again. It says there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And then the dragon fought and his angels. So let's see. Keep on reading.
and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, was deceiving the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So all that right there, that's talking about spiritual war.
Right.
So there's going to be a spiritual war and a physical war during this time. And that time period is talking about Armageddon, World War III. It's not talking about some war that happened in the heavens. This prophecy has not even happened yet.
Right.
You got the Christians thinking that all of this happened already. This has not happened yet. Because if this happened, watch the next verse, verse 10.
Verse 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength.
There's not salvation yet. There's not strength yet. Read.
And the kingdom of our God.
The kingdom of our God has not been established yet. So that's how we know this prophecy has not been fulfilled yet. That war has not taken place with Michael and the angels. So you can understand. Read.
And the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night.
The accuser is still here. The accuser is still locking our people up. It's still putting our people in jail. It's still accusing us day in and day out. We're still being accused and oppressed. So this prophecy has not been fulfilled yet.
Right.
So all that war, all that talking about there was a war in heaven and the third part of the angels and there was a rebellion and it was cast out. All that is a bunch of lies. And that's what we showed y'all today. So from there, let's go to the other scripture that they get confused on. Give me that in Luke chapter 10, verse 18.
The book of Luke, chapter 10 and verse 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. So now, this is another example of Christians taking scriptures out of context. They just read one verse and just went with it. Yeah, look, he fell from lightning out of heaven. That has to be what it's talking about. No, that's not what it's talking about. Let's go. Let's read verse. We could even start all the way. Start at verse 1.
The book of Luke, chapter 10 and verse 1. After these things, the Lord appointed other 70 also, and sent them 2 and 2 before his face, unto every city and place, whither he himself would come.
So Christ, he appointed 70 men and sent them out by twos into the cities that he was going to go to before he got there.
Right.
So they were basically the ambassadors of Christ. They came before Christ got there. That was their mission. So from there, jump up, read verse 16.
Verse 16. He that heareth you heareth me, and he that despiseth you despiseth me, and he that despiseth me despiseth him that sent me.
So that was their mission. They were to spread the word that the kingdom of God is at hand. And if anybody did not hear them, they were going to get judged. And it said their judgment was going to be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah and all that stuff.
Right.
When you read on, it said they shake the dust of their feet. If they get accepted, if they don't get accepted, they shake the dust of their feet. Read on.
And the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Lord, even the devils are subject unto us through thy name.
So he said, even the devils. So the 70, after they completed their mission, after they all went 2 by 2 into the various cities, they came back to Christ and they said, wow, Lord, Christ, even the devils were subject unto us. There was nothing that could stop us. That's why Christ said in the next verse, read.
And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
Meaning that the spiritual demon Satan could not touch them because Christ put a hedge around them.
Right.
That's what it's talking about. The same way how Job had a hedge around him and Satan couldn't touch him unless the Lord gave him permission. That was the same way that the 70 was set up at that time. That's why they were rejoicing. They said, Lord, even the devils can't touch us. Read.
Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you.
So they had the power over serpents, so poisonous snakes couldn't attack them. The same thing happened with Paul, when the snake jumped up and bit him in his hand. And they all looked, they thought he was going to die, but he didn't die. He just shook it off and kept moving.
All praises.
It says the scorpions couldn't, even if the scorpion tried to sting him, the poison wasn't killing them. It said nothing could hurt them. Read on.
Notwithstanding, in this rejoice not, that the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven.
That's what they should be rejoicing. So Christ told them, don't rejoice because you ain't being touched, but rejoice because your names are written in heaven. Rejoice because you're in the book of life.
Right.
That's what we got to rejoice about right there, brothers and sisters. That's the thing that we got to rejoice. Read on.
In that hour, Jesus rejoiced in spirit and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight.
Because you got pastors that don't know that Lucifer was not an angel fallen from heaven. You got scholars that don't know that Lucifer was not a rebellious angel that got cast out. You got all these wise men, they don't know these things. But God revealed the truth unto babes. God revealed it unto us.
Right.
The true prophets of God. And we got to rejoice in that thing. Come on.
All things are delivered to me, O my Father, and no man knoweth who the Son is, but the Father, and who the Father is, but the Son, and he to whom the Son will reveal himself. And he turned him unto his disciples, and said privately, Blessed are the eyes which see the things that ye see. Mm-hmm. For I tell you, that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
There are many prophets that have desired to see the things that we see and have not seen them, and to hear the things that we have heard and have not heard them. So we have to rejoice in the things that we know and be glad and be joyous that the Lord has shown us and revealed unto us the mysteries of these Bibles, the true understanding of these prophecies. So from there, let's go back to Isaiah 14 and let's read the rest of the chapter. Let's go through the whole thing. So where did we leave off at? I think we left off at verse 18.
Yes. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 18. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house.
We got a theme? Yeah, let's get it in right there. Let's do it. Keep on going. So it said the nations, every nation is waiting to rule. That's what it's talking about. Because China thinks they're going to be the next world superpower. Or the Arabs think they're going to be the next world superpower. But all of them is not going to be the next. Remember, Officer Abraham did a class. Who will be the next world superpower? The 12 tribes of Israel. Come on.
But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet.
So that's what's going to happen. It says, thou art cast out of the grave as an abominable branch. That's going up in the east, Esau, Edom, Lucifer, the devil, Satan, all of them. That's their judgment. Come on.
Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned.
So the seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. That's who Esau, Edom is. That's who Lucifer is. They are the seed of evildoers. Come on.
Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
So that's the judgment. It said prepare slaughter for their children for the iniquity of their fathers. Because you got a lot of white people that say that was my ancestors that did that. That was not me. That's what the Bible says. Y'all gonna suffer the judgment for what they did. Nobody's getting away scotch-free from this thing. Come on.
For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord.
So all is going to get cut off. The name, America, the name of America is going to be cut off. The name of New York City is going to be cut off.
Right.
The name of Raleigh, North Carolina is going to be cut off.
Right.
All the capitals of the city, all of it's going to be cut off. Come on.
I will also make it a possession for the bittern, and pools of water. I will sweep it with the bosom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts.
It says, I will also make it a possession for the bittern. So I had a document, I had an article about that. Bible study tools about the bittern. Let's see what that is. What is the bittern pools of water? That was one of my articles there. Let's see what that's making reference to when it says the bittern. Because it's talking about the besom of destruction. Read that. Is that the one I want? Go down one. Go down one. Let me see. Right there. That International Standard Bible Encyclopedia. That one. Just the first sentence or two.
Bittern, a nocturnal member of a Herod family, frequenting swamps and marshy places. Its Hebrew name means a creature of waste and desert places.
So it means a creature of waste and desert places, meaning that's what's going to be dwelling there. That's what it's talking about. The America is going to be destroyed and wasted, and the bittern is still going to be remaining here because that's what they like, those kind of places, wastelands. Give me that Isaiah 34. It said the same thing. Let me see. Isaiah 34, verse 10.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 10. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever, from generation to generation.
You know what? Let's start up above that. Let's start up at verse 5.
Verse 5. For my source shall be bathed in heaven. Behold.
Get that music back. Start up verse 4.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Let's talk about icy intercontinental ballistic missiles, destruction, explosions, bombs. Come on.
For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea.
That's the Greek word for Edom. So that's still talking about Lucifer. That's still talking about Satan, the devil, the deceiver, Edom, all that we've been reading about thus far. Come on.
And upon the people of my curse to judgment.
Read.
The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
So that's what's going to happen. Future judgment is going to be a slaughter in the land of Idumea. Come on.
And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and the land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness.
So that's the rhinoceros talking about. Read on.
For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion.
What is the controversy of Zion? Whose land is it? Who does it belong to? Who are the people of Zion? That is the controversy of Zion. And that's what is the confusion of this place right now. Because in 1948, in the Balfour Declaration, they put a whole bunch of white people in Poland and all of them guys in our land, and they're parading them around as the people of God. and it's caused a lot of controversy, a lot of chaos and confusion against the Palestinians and against all of them. Read.
And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch,
There's the lakes and the streams shall be turned to pitch,
and the dust thereof into brimstone.
meaning fire starters. Come on.
And the land thereof shall become burning pitch.
It's going to be burning. Fire burning, 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 burning. Come on.
It shall not be quenched night nor day.
It's going to be burning and burning and burning.
Right.
The lake of fire, like it talks about. Come on.
The smoke thereof shall go up forever, from generation to generation. It shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and never.
Read.
But the cormorant,
But the cormorant, which is another heron family bird, or a pelican family bird. Come on.
and the bittern shall possess
The bittern, again, like we read in Isaiah 14. The same bird is going to be there because they like to inhabit waste and deserted places. Come on.
the owl also, and the raven shall dwell in it. And he shall stretch out upon it line of confusion, and the stones of emptiness.
That's what's going to be. Stones of emptiness and lines of confusion. Burning pitch and destruction. Let's go back to Isaiah 14. Read verse 24.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 24. The Lord of hosts hath sworn, saying, surely I have thought, so shall it come to pass. And as I have purposed, so shall it stand.
So the same way he said it's going to happen, that's the same way it's going to happen. God brought the judgment down, and he said that's what's going to happen. And his judgment shall stand. Come on.
That I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders.
So what's this talking about? It says, then that I will break the Assyrian in my land. Who is in the land of Israel today? The Israelis. The Israelis. Those so-called Jews, the Amalekites. That's who's in the land. It said God will break them. Thus saith the Lord God. It said, upon my mountains, and tread him underfoot. Then it says, then shall his yoke, meaning the Israelis' yoke, depart from off them. Who is the them? The Arabs, the Palestinians, those in Gaza and all them places that's got the yoke on them, that's going through affliction, that's going through genocide. It said the yoke is going to be put off them when God puts his foot down on Edom. Breathe.
And his burden depart from off their shoulders.
From there, let me get Micah chapter 5, verse 6. Micah chapter 5, verse 6.
The book
About
of
the
Micah,
Assyrian.
chapter 5 and verse 6. And they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword, and the land of Nimrod, and the entrance thereof. Thus shall he deliver us from the Assyrian, when he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth under our borders.
Start at verse let me see. Start at verse 5.
Verse 5. And this man shall be the peace, when the Assyrian shall come into our land.
So it said, yeah, and this man shall be the peace. The peace that this man that's talking about Christ. Come on.
And when he shall tread in our palaces, then shall we rise against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men.
Which is talking about the prophets of God. 7 shepherds and 8 principal men, that's 15 men. The prophets of God, we're going to rise up and we're going to use this word of God to bring judgment upon these nations. That's what we're doing now. Read.
And they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword.
With the sword, it's talking about with the Bible. With the word of God, which is swift and sharper and mighty than any two-edged sword, cutting asunder even soul and spirit. That's what we're using to cut asunder and waste the land of Assyria. Every time we open this book and we prophesy, the angels activate. And when these angels activate, they bring the judgment written therein in this book. So that's what you're seeing. The 8 principal men and the 7 shepherds. These are these men. These are the prophets. These are those that are teaching in these streets, that are teaching the glorious gospel of God, the good news to the elect, to the scattered 12 tribes of Israel. Come on, let's go back to Isaiah 14. Read verse 26.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 26. This is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth. And this is the land that is stretched out, the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations.
This is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. The judgment of God is upon all the nations. Come on.
For the Lord of hosts has purposed it. And who shall disannul it?
Nobody can disannul what God says. What God says is going to stand. Come on.
Right.
And his hand is stretched out. And who shall turn it back?
Nobody can turn back the hand of God. Read.
In the year of King Ahaz died was this burden.
That's when Isaiah got that vision. That's when Isaiah got that burden. The burden is referring to a prophecy or a vision. That's what it's making reference to. Give me the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 1. Just to show you when it makes its reference to burdens, it's talking about the prophecy or a vision that the prophet did see.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and verse 1. The burden which Habakkuk, the prophet, did see.
You see that? The burden which the prophet Habakkuk did see. So the burden is talking about a vision. That's when Isaiah got that vision. Read Isaiah 14:29 now.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 29. Rejoice not thou, whole Palestina, because the rod of him that smote thee is broken.
So don't rejoice, Palestine, which is talking about the Arabs, because the rod is broken. Because remember in verse 25, it said the yoke will be taken off of him. Don't rejoice in those things, Arab. Come on.
For out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatrice, and its fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent.
And it says his fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent. Remember when we started off with similitudes. The fiery flying serpent and the cockatrice is referring to missiles. The smoke trail of a nuclear missile or intercontinental ballistic missile, when it curves, it makes the shape of a serpent. A fiery flying serpent. That's the missile. That's what it's talking about there. Read.
And the firstborn of the poor shall feed.
The firstborn of the poor, that's us. That's the Israelites. It said we shall feed. Come on.
And the needy shall lie down in safety.
We gonna lie down in safety when these things are happening. Read.
And I will kill the root with famine, and he shall slay thy remnant.
So the remnant is them Arabs. The root is gonna be killed. So the Israelis, the white man, all of them, they gonna get put to death. And the remnant, which is the Arab nation, they gonna be slain too. Read.
Howl, O gate, cry, O city, thou whole Palestina, the art dissolved. For there shall come from the north a smoke, and none shall be alone in his appointed times.
From the north, that shall come from the north, that's talking about the North country, North America. They're gonna send a smoke. Because remember, there's going to be a smoke of the burning over there. There's going to be destruction over there, bombs, missiles over there, and they're going to send bombs over here as well, over there in Israel as well.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of destruction in that time. Read.
What shall one then answer the messengers of the nation? That the Lord hath founded Zion, and the poor of his people shall trust in it.
So the Lord founded Zion, and the poor of his people, which is the Israelites, shall trust in it. So we're going to trust in Zion. We're going to trust in this message, in this word of judgment, in this word of prophecy, and await its fulfillment. So with that, Israel, we conclude our lesson. And with that, we say shalom.